Hi guys, it's Mike G from Mr. GTV and MrMikeGarner.com, and we're going through a lot of stories at the moment. Today, the 20th of September 2022, is the day after the Queen's funeral and the bank holiday that was very unique to this unique place, marker in history, etymology, his story, Queen's story, Boris Johnson's story, Liz Truss story, climate change story, economic crash story, all the other stories that are going on at the moment, the Ukraine story. How is your story? You know, it depends on who tells the story, and I'm choosing my words very carefully here as to how you feel about the world situation or your personal situation. What stories are you telling? What are you talking about? Is your life a horror story or a happy story? I know what I'd prefer to hear. I know what I'd prefer to experience. I know what I'd prefer to say. And it's up to me, isn't it, what stories I tell. I mean, I could have had 10 bad things happen to me today and one good thing, and if I dwell on the good thing and tell you that story, then your assumption, your perception is I've had a good day. That's what I do. I look for the good and expect the best, and I talk about that. And if I have something unexpected or something that undesirable happens in my day, turns up, maybe it was expected or unexpected, I look for the learning in that and talk about that. So I turn something negative into something positive. Now at the moment, these stories that are going on in the world that are coming at us, in my opinion, it's fear, disappointment, disaster, crisis, chaos. But it's up to you how you file it. It's up to you how you perceive it. It's up to you how you decode it, how you understand it, how you see it, how you feel it. You can attach to it, or you can stay protected from it. You can make a decision now that none of this stuff is going to get to you. That whatever also happens in your personal life or your business life, that it's not the end of the world. And yet a lot of this stuff is being projected to us as if it is the end of the world. Do you remember the story a while ago about the unprecedented, we were told, heat wave that lasted about 3 days? And yet look at the stuff that was being told to us. They were telling stories. In my opinion, they were telling porkies. That's Cockney rhyming slang for pork pies, lies. And there's a lot of porkies being told at the moment. Health porkies, financial porkies, military and law porkies, and war porkies. And there's going to be more porkies told. I'm choosing these words on purpose so that the algorithm doesn't pick them up and delete me. And as we go into a season now where historically people have caught colds and other sorts of things, it's that sort of season now coming, isn't it, as we move towards Halloween and bonfire night and Christmas and winter. The old expression, the old joke, winter draws on. As it starts to get colder, I'm wearing my, if you're old enough to remember, my Val Doonican jumper. Shows how old I am, doesn't it? Guitarist and singer and all-round entertainer, famous for his jumpers, sitting in a rocking chair singing. Well, that's in my childhood anyway. So I'm finding now that it's getting darker earlier and colder quicker. And So we're moving into cough drop season, and I'm saying that carefully so I don't get deleted. And the whole fact that I could get deleted for saying certain things is a new story in the algorithm of social media, isn't it? And communication, that so many people now can claim to be offended, and that now is a crime. That's a new story, isn't it? And all the stuff about children at schools and the sort of education that they're going to get, if you know what I mean. SEX education for minors, that's a new story. You've got to get to a place, in my opinion, where you know this stuff, but then you don't attach to this stuff and you don't allow it to change your vibration. You don't allow it to change your emotion, energy, emotion, E for energy, motion, movement, the way that these feelings of upset, fear, anxiety, stress or joy move through our bodies, because we don't just know we're frightened, we do fear. We don't just know we're angry or pissed off, we do anger, we do frustration, we do stress. And I've learnt through vicarious programming, which is hypnosis and self-hypnosis, that I can turn that down, that I don't do stress to the same volume, to the same intensity that I used to do maybe 25 years ago before I knew and taught these techniques. I don't do fear, I don't do anger. You would hardly know that I'm pissed off. I go very quiet, I go into stillness. My default emotion, energy, emotion is to be calm and relaxed. I don't allow these things to rile me, to stir me up, to make me turbulent. I don't run round like a headless chicken, getting angry, spitting my dummy out. That does me no good, does my health no good, does my mindset and my emotions no good. It will send me to an early grave. And I don't use compensations either. I don't drink I choose to drink. I don't need to drink. I don't emotionally eat. Those things aren't part of my story. Are they part of your story? And as now, on this day after the Queen's funeral, and the whole nation, we're told, has been in mourning, I find it very interesting to see the narrative that people are almost proud to be upset. It's like they're wearing upset as a badge of honour. I mean, if you're upset, okay, respect, no criticism from me, no judgment. But how's that working for you? Celebrate a life. Celebrate a successful story. Honour a passing. But to allow it to make you ill, sleepless nights, upset, traumatise people for any world event or anything that's external to you. Your life is in your response, and in my opinion, your default response, as I said before, should be one of being calm and relaxed, almost neutral. That doesn't mean you don't care, but it means that you respect your own equilibrium, your own emotions, your own energy, emotion. It's rather like when something hurts you, when something comes at you, it's rather like you've been targeted and you've been hit by an arrow. And you might have heard me before talk about this metaphor of being hit by an arrow, hit by the arrow of anger, upset. Maybe somebody's disrespected you and you're shocked, disappointed, nervous, fearful. That's the arrow created by that event. Something external fires at you. Well, that's fair enough. You can get really good at dealing with that. But the problem is, too many people tell that story again. they repeat that story, and every time they repeat that story, they feel another arrow. So the event was one arrow on that day, but then they keep telling that story and they get hit by another arrow, and they tell it down the pub, another arrow, tell it in the coffee shop, another arrow, tell it to the friends, to the people at work, another arrow. And a few days and a few weeks and a few months on, you're probably still telling the story, and you were hit once with an arrow, maybe stabbed in the back. But every time you tell the story, you're stabbing yourself in the back, and you're firing more arrows at yourself, and you're weakening yourself. And with the first arrow, maybe you were quite resilient, but after 10 times of telling that story, 10 arrows, it weakens you. Don't weaken yourself. Strengthen yourself. Stop telling those negative stories. Nobody cares anyway. Nobody really wants to know when they ask you, how are you? Tell them you're feeling fine, excellent, terrific. Even if you're not, because you're listening. You've got one mouth and two ears. And your two ears are listening, and the universe is listening, not only to what you express, but to what you think. Imagine that the universe is eavesdropping on everything that you say and think, and it's going to bring that into your reality. So when you say you're not feeling too good, the universe, which is a mirror, and people that you're talking to are sympathetic to that and interact with you in that low vibration, in that low emotion. Is that what you want? Do you want to be treated like a victim? Or do you want to be a victor and rise up to these situations and respond with bravery, courage, integrity, dignity, power? That's my life story. And trust me, I get it wrong, but I check myself in the moment. And you'll get it wrong, but know this. From today, you can respond in a more positive, powerful way. From today, you can respond in a more positive and powerful way. And that's a fantastic affirmation to say 3 times throughout today and for the rest of this week. Every time you remember to say it. From today, I respond in a more positive and powerful way. And then follow that affirmation. Respond in a positive and powerful way. And ask yourself all the time, am I feeling positive and powerful? Is what I'm saying, is what I've just said, positive and powerful? And correct yourself, check yourself, and be more positive and powerful, and tell positive and powerful stories, even if you've only had one positive thing this week and 25 negative things. Refuse to be negative. Refuse to tell negative stories. Refuse to entertain negative thoughts, because they're negative and they make you feel negative. There's no way that you can feel negative with the positive thought in your mind. But if you're entertaining a negative thought, immediately the feeling follows the thought with 1/600,000th of a second. And that's the way that psychology, a thought, becomes physiology, which is an emotion. And then that very quickly moves into biology, which is your body chemistry. And the body chemistry of a victim is disease. You'll make yourself sick to death with all this worry and fear and anxiety and stress. Because as I said, you want ease, you want to be calm and relaxed. And the opposite of being calm and relaxed is being stressed and tense because of a negative thought, which creates a negative emotion and a negative body chemistry. So check that, guys. On this day, now, after these events, and with more to come, in my opinion, as we move towards winter, dark nights, colder weather, more challenges in a challenging, changing world. Step up now. Step up. Be a warrior. not a worrier. Be a warrior, not a worrier. And refuse to harbour, entertain, or generate negative thoughts. And if you have a negative thought, just instantly swap it for a more beneficial, positive one. And you can, and there's only you can do it. And if you need any help, if you need a chat, I'm here for that. Because I know that I can change your mind. And when you change your mind yourself, or you use a professional, you'll change your life. Be powerful, guys. Be a warrior, not a worrier, and refuse to have negative thoughts and emotions. Use the law of substitution and swap those thoughts for more powerful, positive thoughts and emotions. And enjoy your mind and tell better stories. Take care.